Hi, Ken1171 here, and in this video, I'm going to talk about a new script I have created to do something that was missing in a previous script I have released. Let's take a look first on the DUF Prop Converter, this one here. I have an example of a hair I have used in the demo video for the DUF Prop Converter, the Leico hair for Genesis 1. And let's convert it to Poser first with the default auto load option on so that it converts it to a default directory here, the converted props. And once it's done, which takes only a jiffy, it loads it in Poser. And as you can see here, it loads, and that's great, but it has no morphs. If we look at the original hair from DAZ Studio, you will notice it has lots and lots of morphs here, and they are organized into groups, like styles, for example. And when we convert this hair to Poser, it doesn't have any morphs. And that's kind of a bummer. So I have been doing some research on how to get morphs into Poser, and it took a while, but I think I got it now. So let's do this again, but um, I'm going to add all these bunches of morphs from DAZ Studio. And what I want to do is like three things. First, I want to convert these morphs to Poser. Second, I want to preserve the dial groups. As you can see, the morphs are organized into groups. I want to preserve those. And for each individual dial, they have limits. As you can see here, this dial was set to -1 to 1. And I want to preserve that too. And for that purpose, I have created a new tool called the DUF Morph Converter. And what it does is it takes the original DUF file, which is this one. It takes the converted prop, which is this one I just created, and then it enables the start button. Well, I have an option here to choose which morphs I want to include, which is enabled by default. So once I click the start button, it starts looking into the DAZ file, looking for all the morphs it has, and here they are. For this example, I'm not going to add all of them. I'm going to just add some styles, for example, 1 to 5, and the wind morphs, those here. And click proceed. And then it does its thing. It's now injecting the morphs. This is some heavy processing because those morphs are kind of heavy. But since I didn't choose all of them, it was rather quick. Once it completes, you will notice here it says, okay, if you have the Poser library open, you have to refresh it to show the new PP2 file that was just created. I'm going to click OK here. And once I do that, it resets the interface so it's ready for the next batch. And let's look here at the converted props, which is the default place where I saved my PP2 converted hair. And it has created another copy of it. As you can see here, it has the same name, but it added injected as a suffix. And this one has all the morphs that this one doesn't. It doesn't overwrite the original, so in case something goes wrong, you don't lose the original hair. Okay, so let's load this into Poser and take a look on what we got. So first thing we'll notice is it has all the morphs. Here they are. And it has preserved the dial groups. And when I dial the morphs, you'll notice it has also preserved the min and max values that were in the original hair. They are still here. And that's what I wanted to show you. Now we can bring all the morphs that the original figure or prop in DAZ Studio had. This hair in particular was a figure hair, but it works with props as well. One thing about filtering morphs is that if you disable this option here and click start, it's not going to show you that morph selection list, and it's going to include all morphs included with the item. It's not going to filter, it's going to add all. In some cases, you may want to do that. I just want to call attention that some items have a lot of polygons. I mean, a lot. They're really big, especially hair. Hair tends to be polyheavy. And morphs can be as big as the object itself when it comes to data. So if you import all the morphs and each one changes basically all of the geometry, each morph will take as much space as the hair itself. So keep in mind that if I add, for example, all the morphs from this hair, it may take something between like 1 or 2 minutes, depending on your computer. And in some cases, it can take as long as like 10 minutes for another hair. For example, Nova hair from Prey. It goes from 30 kilobytes to 300 megabytes with all the morphs loaded. And it took like 10 minutes to do that. So it may look during the processing that Poser has frozen, but no, it's just doing some heavy processing and Poser stops responding. And like for consequence, the script may look like it has stopped responding, but no, it's just doing some very heavy processing. If you're patient, you just wait, it will get there. All right. So that's what I wanted to show you. This is like a great companion for the prop converter that can bring all the morphs into Poser. That's what I wanted to show you. Thanks for watching.